Hi, everybody. Happy Halloween. It is the 31st day of October 2017. It's a Tuesday. It's Halloween. I am Dan Kuntz, and I've looked better. Hi, Steve.
I know we're working with a bare bones budget here at NCW Life, but this is taking it to an extreme. You're looking a little peckish this morning, Dan.
I feel like I've lost some weight. I really do. I need to do a better diet. I am the skeleton of Dan Kuntz. To my immediate left is News Director Steve Hare. We're flying by the seat of our pants today, literally and figuratively.
Well, I am anyway. You're not wearing it.
I'm not wearing any pants. It's a long story. Before we go any further, special thanks to our friends at Columbia Valley Community Health. They loaned this skeleton out to me, Steve. So they loaned this out so I could look like I do today. And this whole idea comes from your friend and mine, Mr. Tucker Wagner, one of our top content producers who came up with this idea last week.
Thanks a lot, Tucker. Appreciate that.
I owe you one, buddy. Outside of my somewhat gauntness, the usual shenanigans apply. The only difference is, and this is very important, I can't see. I am blind, so Steve's going to have to handle the yeoman's work today.
That's okay, Dan. We've got it taken care of.
Okay, don't touch me, Steve. You know how I feel about that. We have sports, we have weather. It's going to get chilly, Steve, but they've backed down on the snow prediction. You notice that? They were saying yesterday about a 40% chance of snow on Sunday. Now they say more like a 30% chance of snow. However, for you folks in the upper valleys, the Omak, Okanagan, Brewster area, Winthrop, you're going to get measurable snow, it looks like, Saturday night into Sunday. For the Wenatchee Valley, probably not so much. It's going to get chilly, too. It's going to get really cold.
Yeah, you're going to have to wear the parka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not much insulation there, Mr. Dan.
No, it is not. Oh, boy. So, yeah, thanks for joining and bearing with us on our Halloween shenanigans. Last year, Steve, at this time, I wore the same outfit, the green suit, the chroma key suit, with just my head exposed, and I was a floating head.
I like this. I like this.
You like this?
Yeah, it's an improvement.
It's an improvement.
You're creeping me out, though.
Steve, I'd like to see you at 8 o'clock right after the show. Quick little reminder. I feel like an idiot. I do that well. No guest.
You're keeping a straight face.
Yes, I am keeping a straight face. No guest today. We'll have one tomorrow, but my guest was a last-second cancellation. It happens. So you get Steve and I for the next hour. Actually, the three of us, I guess, technically.
Actually, 1.5. I think. Yeah.
Steve, before we go any further, we got a lovely plate of
We did,
of
as a
snacks
matter
here.
of fact. Thank you very much to Margie Kerr,
And
of
Laura
course,
Hilton.
founder and actually the Make a Difference Day founder, sent us these nice cookies. So thank you very much, Margie, for that. In fact, she even wrote us a nice letter.
Do you mind reading that on the air,
I
Steve?
don't mind reading it at all. Don't you want to read it? Oh, that's right. You don't have any eyes.
I don't have any eyes.
That's right. That kind of hurts things. The man with no eyes joining me here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley this morning. Anyway, a letter from Margie Kerr says, Dear NCW Life staff, Make a Difference Day 2017 was a huge success. Once again, our valley demonstrated that it's the unity in community that gets the job done. We're most appreciative of your extra support. So, sincerely, Laurel Helton and Margie Kerr.
That was nice of them.
Thank you, ladies, for the great cookies and the great work that you do to coordinate just a wonderful event each year. And another big success this weekend, too.
Make a Difference Day was a huge success, and of course, it's all about you, folks. That's how it works. That's
Your
the whole
nose is
idea.
running, by the way.
My nose is running? Well,
Yeah,
nose
your
is
nose.
running in my family. A lot of people don't know that.
And I'm glad you brushed your teeth at least this morning.
Steve, let's go around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras, and since I can't see anything, you're going to have to guide our viewers at what we're looking at here.
Okay, here we go, folks. From our Sky-Fi cam in the sky, they're looking down on the city of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee to the left. That's our Wenatchee Heights camera. As, of course, the sun rise here is still about 20 minutes away. I
Oh,
believe.
longer than that,
Longer than that.
7:45 or 7:46. is
Okay, well
sunrise,
then,
yeah.
by this time next week, though, we'll be seeing the sunrise with
Mm-hmm.
the time change, which we'll be setting our clocks back Saturday night before we go to bed. Let's move on to our next camera. And I believe our next camera is from Jump Off Ridge, looking down on the bench there, the Wenatchee Heights area. And even further down below is the Wenatchee area. And you can see the snow-capped peaks in the background, the Cascades there. Wonderful shot of our beautiful little Wenatchee Valley there. Also, we have another perspective on that same valley. This is from Badger Mountain, looking looking westward, and a little more sunshine there, starting to bathe our sky and starting to show up on the hillsides there. But beautiful shot there, looking, I believe, towards the north at Badger Mountain. And you can see the river in the background there and the lighted valley with Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. And again, thanks to Sky-Fi Internet for providing us with this free picture. Wonderful shots. And then our final picture comes from Omi Gardens, looking down on the Chelan Highway there, the industrial area there along Highway 97A. Just a light volume of traffic this morning, but Dan, beautiful shot there.
Hold tight, I have
As
to
you
scratch
can't
my
see.
nose. Yes, there we
Dan,
go.
okay, beg your pardon? Well, you can't see, and we can't see you. But again, thanks for Sky-Fi for providing this great shots of the valley on this Tuesday morning. So, here we
Excuse
are
me,
back.
I gotta
Dan
pick
is,
my nose here just a minute. There
okay,
we go.
beg your
Had a little-
pardon.
Had a little booger there.
There you go. Sorry about that.
Should
Man,
we,
you are really creeping me out.
should we do the forecast from the National Weather Service? Let's go ahead and do that. A couple of more nice days of sunshine, Steve. It was a little cooler yesterday than we saw on Sunday. We had 64 Sunday. We were in the 50s yesterday, 56 or 57, something like that. From the National Weather Service, here's what your forecast looks like.
In fact, we are looking for clear skies tonight, allowing temperatures to fall back into the 20s without that insulating cloud layer. Tuesday morning, looking for some lows much cooler than we have today. Much cooler, wet, and unsettled weather pattern developing Wednesday night and will continue through the weekend, bringing possibly some heavy snow to the mountains in the northern valleys Wednesday night onward. I was able to check out the little preview of our week's weather with the National Weather Service that we get each week. And it looks like, as far as snow measurement is concerned on the valley floor, at the most, maybe an inch.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect a lot. In fact, it would disappear in a hurry, I'm sure. But giving us mostly wet conditions over the weekend, though. So Monday, 56, and that was our high, and our low last night actually dipped down to 33. So it's we're getting into that fall pattern now, late fall and heading into winter.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, yesterday at this time, the National Weather, hold tight, I still got that itch there. There we go.
Oh, you got it?
The National Weather Service was predicting a 40% chance of snow on Sunday in the valley. Now they've said 30% chance. So they kind of backed off a little bit about that. There is a cold front that's going to come in. It's going to meet up with some moisture coming in off the Pacific Ocean. That's why they're a little worried about that. But we are going to get quite a bit of rain, it looks like, towards the back half of the week, Steve.
By the way, your brain cavity is starting to separate there from
here,
your
hold
head
tight.
a little bit there.
There
So
we go. There we
you
go.
know, you are cracked, I know.
No brains, no headaches.
There you are.
That's always been my motto, indeed. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Halloween edition. I am the skeleton of Dan Kuntz. This is Steve Hare, our beloved news director. Are you beloved?
I am, but you're a
Okay.
mere shell of your former
Yeah.
self.
Oh, I really feel like I need to start working out a little bit more. We're going to take a 1-minute break. When we come back, provided that the owners have not canceled the show, Steve will have the news. You're watching a Halloween edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning. A lot of news to get to here on a Tuesday morning. Here's what's happening around north central Washington. Good news on the labor front in our recently released Washington State Employment Security Department labor and employment numbers for the Wenatchee area for the month of September. That report provides an update on the Chelan and Douglas County economy, incorporating not seasonally adjusted, non-farm employment, and civilian labor force data. In the two-county area, the annual average unemployment rate rose from 5.9% to 6.3% between 2015 and 2016. However, that rate now drops 1 2/10 points from 4.8% down to 3.6% unemployment between September of 2016 and this year. In that 12-month period, the area's labor force moderately expanded while the number of unemployed dropped substantially. Meanwhile, in the period between September 2016 and 2017, Wenatchee's total non-farm employment was at 46,000. That's a 1,200 job and 2.6% upturn compared to the previous year. One of the reasons for those numbers is that more residents entered the workforce while the number of unemployed dropped substantially. The report also says that the September 2017 unemployment rate for Chelan and Douglas counties is the lowest since electronic records were implemented back in 1990. So good news indeed there on our labor front for the economy of Chelan and Douglas County. Also, a state audit reports the Washington State Apple Commission was overbilled over $500,000 by an India-based contractor. The Wenatchee World reports the company, identified as SCS Group of New Delhi, was hired to promote Apple sales in that country. Apple Commission President Todd Fryover said the contractor has since been replaced. He says the overpayment came to light following a tip from a subcontractor that things weren't penciling out over the past 5 years. Fryover then contacted the state auditor's office, who in turn launched an investigation. Meanwhile, the Wenatchee World reports that the SCS officials are now denying any wrongdoing. The Wenatchee-based Apple Commission promotes Washington apples to 30 countries under the Federal Market Access Program, also called MAP. Growers assess themselves at 3.5 cents per 42-pound box to fund the annual $10.4 million budget. In other news, the Wenatchee School District is among 10 districts statewide, and 2 tribal compact schools received grants to support K-12 dual language programs. Superintendent of Public Instruction Chris Reichdahl said the money will be used to help prepare teachers to instruct in the dual language program, also to help recruit bilingual teachers and to purchase supplementary instructional materials. Wenatchee Schools will receive, as its part of the grant, $15,800. Eastern Washington forest lands are the focus of a new long-range improvement plan, new strategy under the management of the State Department of Natural Resources. Jay Seebeck files a special report for NCW Life News.
Crews beginning the mop-up of the Jolly Mountain fire, work is being conducted to promote forest health to prevent future fires. Crews are thinning out the undergrowth as well as cutting down certain trees. This strategy improves the forest health as well as reduces the potential for another forest fire in the future.
I was very, I noticed, we cleared a lot of the material, threw it over there, left some trees, Is that a requirement from some of the resource advisors? Is that just good practice? So
no, that's just
canopy left over?
Yep, leaving canopy. It's kind of like a selective logging operation. If you look at it, just thinning out. You see like the big group of trees that was taken there that were torched out on the line. So what was left has little potential to cause problems on the line, but a high chance of surviving and being there in the future.
Also, areas of concern include certain highly flammable material, such as lichen, a forest moss that grows on the trunks and branches of many trees in the Pacific Northwest. Lichen's light weight causes its flaming embers to get picked up in the wind and start new fires in different locations, sometimes as far as a mile away.
Very lightweight. That's very lightweight, but flammable. Once ENIAC starts down that line.
So that's the stuff that will carry it, relocate the fire to the main road.
So you can see it hanging on trees,
When we go a little further up the main road, the woods are just filled with this.
Really?
And when that goes up, it's like a
And it
firecracker.
go across the road or go someplace else and start another fire.
It tends to hang all the way down a tree, down to ground level.
So if it doesn't fly off the tree, then it will just burn it all the way up to the tree and then get up into the ground.
But typically it launches too. It's kind of gets detached from the tree and stays hot for a long time.
Yep. Great fuel for fire, but not good for us.
Stay tuned to the NCW Life magazine for the full inside look at the Jolly Mountain fire. I'm Jay Seebeck, NCW Life News.
Also today, a Sunday afternoon power outage affected about 800 Chelan County PUD customers here in the Wenatchee area. It happened at the same time, though, that the Seattle Seahawks were driving for a go-ahead touchdown, causing some frayed nerves for some local television viewers.
Power was affected for about 800 customers along Western Avenue from roughly number 2 Canyon down to 5th. Fortunately, PUD crews were able to get out there and restore power with about 2 minutes left in the game when allowing folks to be able to watch that miraculous finish, not only with the touchdown, but then Richard Sherman's interception.
PUD spokeswoman Kimberly Craig there said the outage was caused by a squirrel in the line. That'll do it usually. Also, law enforcement and public safety agencies will have displays and information available for trick-or-treaters and their parents tonight in downtown Wenatchee. Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department promoted the Halloween event on a recent Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program with our host, Dan Koontz.
3 to 5, the street will be closed. Wenatchee Avenue will be closed from Orondo to 2nd Street, and in those 3 blocks, we're going to have vehicles from Wenatchee Police, Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Chelan County PUD, City of Wenatchee, Waste Management, Chelan County Fire District 1, Ballard, and Lifeline. So we'll have an experience for kids to go see emergency and construction vehicles all up and down the street, in addition to the 32 businesses that are actively participating with Trick or Treat Time. It goes from 3 to 5. There are events that follow at Pybus, at the Convention Center. So it's an opportunity to get the kids out in daytime, see us, get stickers, get candy.
Completely safe.
Safe environment, free. Yeah. Streets are closed. Come down there and you can get your kids done in daytime and maybe not be chasing them around after dark. If your kids are going out after dark, though, please, please, please have some reflective element on their costume and a light of some sort if at all possible.
Flashlight is a great idea.
Yes.
And if you're in a neighborhood and the porch light is off, that means skip over to the next house.
Yep, that is the best practice. Some people just don't want to deal with it, or they're just not home.
Yeah, that could
you
be.
may be aggravating their animals or confusing whatever else.
Halloween on the Ave tonight. They'll be closing down the street there, right in the downtown area. So, going to be a lot of little kids running around. So watch out for them tonight, folks. It gets dark earlier, and certainly a lot of the kids are not clearly visible. So parents, make sure the kids are wearing the reflective material so that motorists can see them out there. And Dan, I love your costume here. It's bare bones as it is.
I hope I feel better in time for the World Series
I
tonight,
do too.
Steve.
I know.
I mentioned this yesterday. Please do not come by my home during the World Series. You're not getting anything from me. My porch light will be off. I will be safely ensconced in the den watching Game 6 of what has been just a phenomenally entertaining World Series. We'll preview that when you do sports here in just a couple of minutes, because if you're just joining us, I can't see.
You look just like your picture in the X-ray.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Thank you once again to Catherine and the crew at Columbia Valley Community Health. These are one of those teaching skeletons that come apart, and you can see the different parts of it.
And let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah. So they were very kind enough to loan me this for today's shenanigans. I do have to return it in one piece, although as soon as I brought it to the office yesterday, Steve, everybody wanted to play with Bonesy.
Oh, yeah. They had him all dressed up last night, sitting in Grant's chair. I'll tell you, though, it's an improvement.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
It's an improvement.
I appreciate that.
Here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley of the Dead today.
You, in your neighborhood, you're going to have quite a bit of trick-or-treaters, won't you?
We will. But we got a good barking dog to keep to keep them entertained. That was bad this morning, folks. I have to confess.
This is a pretty funny story.
My neighbors may be a little upset with me this morning. I was driving out of my driveway. My dog got out, and I thought that she was just going to run back in the house. Well, apparently she didn't. She got out, and apparently something caught her attention, and she started to bark. So I'm here at work, right, doing my thing, and all of a sudden, the police scanner goes on. Complaint of a dog barking in the neighborhood of such and such. I'm not going to give you our address here, but in the East Wenatchee area. So I called home, and yep, the dog was out barking at something, but I had to call Rivercom Dispatch just to notify them that the dog is secure now and not barking. So thank you for your patience. neighbors.
What's it like when you hear your own address come over?
Oh,
on the
then
scanner?
you're a
That
little
must be
bit,
verklempt.
little consternation.
Yeah, I bet. Even though I'm not looking or feeling particularly well today, the usual shenanigans
Look a
apply.
little gaunt.
I look a little gaunt today. Steve will be handling the sports. We still have birthdays to get to today in history. The obscure holiday certainly isn't very obscure today.
Thanks to Margie and Laurel for providing us with these great Halloween cookies from courtesy of Make a Difference Day.
It's so strange to host a show when you can't see
Yeah.
what's going on, Steve. I'm assuming it's just a fantastic show.
I'm going to rip it open.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Have
You
some.
mind if I-
Go right ahead.
No, it's good.
You know it's good.
Here you go.
You know it's. Oh, yeah.
Here, let's let you have a piece of cookie here.
There you go.
Here, open your mouth.
There you go.
Open your mouth. There we go.
There you go.
Ready? Ooh, I'm afraid. Oh, there you go.
Let's taste
There he
that
is.
stuff. So, well, I blew my diet. What do you do?
And it goes right through you, right?
It is Tuesday, October 31st. And the other thing about having Halloween on a Tuesday, Steve, my guess is less shenanigans. If it was like on a Friday night or a Saturday night, there could be, busted up pumpkins on city streets and things like that or the next morning. But it's on a Tuesday. Kids have to go back to school the next day. I think Wenatchee, actually, the Wenatchee School District has parent-teacher conferences this week.
Okay.
But in any event, Tuesday's a good day to have Halloween because it's going to cut back on all kinds of goofy stuff that may happen, with the exception, of course, of this show. I have no idea what time it is.
You can't talk serious with that
I know.
costume.
What time is it, Steve? I
Right
can't
now?
see. Yeah.
I've got, 21 after the hour, 22 after the hour exactly.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll take a little break, and when we come back, I'll sit here and look intelligent, and Steve will do your sports with pithy commentary by me because I am full of pith today. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Halloween Edition on the NCW Life Channel. Don't go anywhere.
The orthopedic version.
Ladies of the Wenatchee Valley, do you know the secret of receiving the perfect gift for your birthday, anniversary, or Christmas? We have the answer for you at Collins Fashions. Come in and fill out a wish list. You can choose from beautifully crafted jewelry, handbags, and luggage from Brighton, stylish wallets and handbags from Lotus, cozy sweaters from Icelandic, zip fleece from Tommy Bahama, fashions from Joseph Ribkoff, and Collins gift cards. Our little elves can contact your loved ones and share your wish list. Complimentary gift wrap and amazing service at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
The Kubota dealer in North Central Washington is Valley Tractor and Equipment in the Baker Flats Industrial Park, East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Halloween Edition. I am the skeleton of Dan Kuntz, and because I'm wearing an outfit that prevents me from using my eyes and the fact that I am a skeleton to handle sports, here's Steve Hare.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bones. On the prep schedule for today, they're playing soccer on Halloween. Kashmir hosting Okanagan today at 5 o'clock in the 1A District 6 playoffs. The winner will advance to state while the loser season is over. That's also the scenario for teams in the 2B District 5-6 tournament today. Brewster hosting Mabton while Liberty Bell takes on Tonasket. Both games start at 3:30. On the NCW Live Channel sports broadcast schedule this week, it begins tonight with a replay of a great game from the end of September between Eastmont and West Valley football. Grant Olson and Eric Grandstrom did the play-by-play. Begins tonight at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, we'll have the 4A District 6 Championship soccer match between Wenatchee and West Valley live from the Apple Bowl. That broadcast starts at 6 p.m. Sebastian Morega and Matt Wiesen will call the action. Meanwhile, Eric Grandstrom and cameras will be courtside at Eastmont with the girls' volleyball team as a play-in game against Davis. We'll have highlights Thursday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thursday is hockey night once again, beginning at 7 with Call of the Wild and Clarkie's Corner. That's followed by the Pink at the Rink game from last Saturday against Alberni Valley. And we've had a lot of folks asking when we'll replay the Bridge of Sportsmanship game. And again, folks, that will air again this Friday at 7 o'clock. To replete the Bridge of Sportsmanship game rebroadcast Friday, starting at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, the Dodgers hoping for the trick, while the Astros root for the treat tonight in L.A. for Game 6 of the World Series, Dan. Dan?
Yes?
It's World Series time.
Yay, my favorite time of the year.
Houston has a chance to clinch the title with a win, sends Justin Verlander to the mound, while Los Angeles tries to force a Game 7 with Rich Hill taking the mound. First pitch tonight at 5 o'clock, and you can watch that game on Fox TV. You'll be watching it, won't you?
Yes, I will.
If you get your
I'll
eyes
have my
back.
eyes back by then.
By the way, Seahawks coach Pete Carroll met with the media Monday after getting a chance to watch game film of Sunday's 41-38 win over Houston. Overall, the coach said he's happy to get the win in such a crazy game, but he went on to say it does bring up some problems defensively.
What an incredible football game with so much offense, in both directions, both teams just firing away. It was really something, and it was kind of last guy standing. Our guys came through, found a way to keep believing and counting on one another to come through, and it happened in a really dramatic fashion. So it was really fun to see that kind of a football game in a sense, and then there's a lot of issues there we're working on, what happened on defense and running game and some things that we need to improve on, red zone stuff. We still have a lot of work to do.
And as far as the 12 is concerned, Carroll is constantly impressed by the rabid support of the fans. He says it's almost unfair they get to play back-to-back games at home.
Pleased to get the win, fired up for the fans. The 12s were ridiculous in the stadium, and I hope they found a way to really enjoy the heck out of it. It sounded like they were just wild and crazy, and we needed every bit of it. And I thought the fun moment of the game is when we go back, we get ahead and go back out, and the defense comes right through, bang, bang, with two huge plays just to kind of celebrate the finish of the game. It was really, really special moments in there. So really fun, and we got to get ready to get cranked up. We're fortunately get to come back home again. It doesn't seem like that should be allowed because it seems like this hasn't happened. But we'll take full advantage of it and have a big matchup with the Redskins coming in.
Coach Carroll went on to say that the offensive line is still a head-scratcher as they'll do well in one phase, but not in another.
Protected really well. We really, the pass pro was excellent. We picked them up. We passed stuff off well. Communication was great. Pressures we picked up, all of that. The running game just didn't happen. We just got beat to the punch at the line of scrimmage, and it was just night and day difference, from one to the other. And we really thought we would run the ball better. The plan that we had, they played above it. I thought that 90 played great football, and we thought we'd be able to, run the ball some, and he was really a big factor in causing problems in the backfield. And we had some runs that were okay. It was all the minus yardage plays that really offset things, and there's, 4 or 5 of them that were crazy and just shouldn't happen. And I think really it's night and day difference between what we did in the run of the pass, and the numbers really showed that.
Now, as a result of the problems up front, the Seahawks announced they've traded cornerback Jeremy Lane to Houston with some draft picks to acquire 3-time All-Pro defensive left tackle Dwayne Brown. The trade won't become official until all the players pass their physicals. Brown had held out trying to get a new contract with the Texans and played his first game Sunday against Seattle. General Manager John Schneider said they'll try to get Brown a contract extension past 2018 when his current contract ends. Seahawks host Washington Sunday, 1:05 at Century Link Field at home. Again, the 12s will be in full force, right, Dan?
Oh yeah, they'll be there, and I understand it was a great game. I missed the game on Sunday because it was just a beautiful day, and I could not justify sunshine and 64 and sitting in a house with the drapes closed watching football. I couldn't do it. I figured, hey, when's the next time it's going to be sunny and 64 in the valley? So I had to take advantage of that.
You had to go out and get your bones blanched.
Yeah, well, obviously, as you can tell, I went out and, sunbathed a little bit.
You are looking a little white, though.
I feel a little pale. So this is Game 6 of the World Series. For your Dodgers, it's win or go home, Steve.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In fact, I was kind of, I'm a longtime Dodger fan, but I kind of like to see Houston take it this time.
Houston's never won the World Championship. Heck, they hadn't even won a World Series game until this series. The last time they were in the World Championship, of course, the World Series was in 2005 when they were a National League team and they got swept by the White Sox. So Houston is due. They've been around since the early 60s when they were the Colt 45s and they became the Astros when they moved into the Astrodome. They've had a pretty good baseball tradition, great players. Teams in the late 70s and early 80s were very good back in the Nolan Ryan days, but Houston's due. And I think we could all say, Houston, you had a pretty rough summer with the hurricanes and everything. Houston Strong has become a rallying cry. Since I don't really have a dog in the hunt, my Yankees are out of it, but I watch the World Series anyway. And I'm an American League guy. I have to say, go ahead, Houston, and just close it out. What I'd like to do, Steve, is to have Houston lose tonight, so we have a Game 7 tomorrow, then have Houston win it in like extra innings. So we get great baseball, and then in the end, the Astros win. That, to me, is a dream scenario.
Let me see your batting stance.
You're looking at it right now.
Let me see your batting stance.
Here's my batting stance, Steve.
There he goes. Oh, okay,
there you
I
go.
got you.
There's
All
my
right,
batting
all right,
stance.
There you go.
It is, I have no idea what time it is, Steve. You're gonna have to
Well,
tell me
we're
again.
now 31 after the hour.
Thank you very much.
Running
Now-
a little late today, but
That's
hey,
okay.
forgive us, folks.
Next
Give
on
us
the-
a little bit of latitude here.
Yeah, a couple of things you need to know. I'm wearing an outfit that makes me completely disappear. In the television business, or as we like to say, TV, we call it chroma key. And this is why when we have guests on the show or when we're on the show, we can't wear green.
That's right.
Specifically this shade of green, so we can virtually throw in our various sets that people get to look at and enjoy each weekday morning. That includes not only my show, but Mike Mignotti's show and Lisa Bradshaw's show, Carrie Condata's show, all of our local shows and our newscast. All of it, you can't wear green. And because if you wear green, you simply disappear. So I'm wearing this outfit, which has completely covered me from head to toe, including my head. What I've discovered, Steve, is two things, and we didn't know this until this morning. I can't see anything. I'm completely blind, number one. And number two, going to the bathroom is problematic. Because if you think getting this thing on was difficult this morning, think about trying to get this thing off so I could use the lavatory, as we used to say.
Well, let's don't go there.
Let's not go. Well,
Let's do it.
is that a play on words, Steve?
I think so, yeah.
About 32 minutes after the hour, so I'm told.
You got it. It's time for our next element of the program.
And that is the obscure holiday, and there's nothing obscure about today, Steve. It's
Absolutely not. Today is Halloween, of course. All Hallows Eve. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain.
I put the pronunciation there.
How is that
for you.
pronounced?
Oh, yeah.
Samhain?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, Samhain. Is it the Celts or the Celts? I don't know. What's the proper
I believe it's
pronunciation?
Celtic.
Celtic.
Celtic. I believe it's the Celts.
So, okay, the Celts, then, who lived 2,000 years ago in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. Now, this day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with human death. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to earth. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought that the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids, or Celtic priests, to make predictions about the future. For a people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort and direction during the long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, the Druids built huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes, typically consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. And that was the origin of the Halloween costume, if you will. When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires. And that's the origin of our obscure holiday of the day, which is Halloween.
You mentioned costumes. I am not wearing a costume. This is literally a skeleton that we
is.
taped to my body. Hey, there I am. I can kind of see you. There we go.
Yeah, there you are.
So this is not a costume. This is a real, not a real skeleton, obviously. Those would be hard to find, and there'd probably be some sort of investigation and charges filed if I had a real one.
I have to say, though, that you are transparent.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Well, I try. We try to be entertaining. We try to be.
And wonderful posture.
Oh, thank you very much. We try to be entertaining. We try to be informative. Today we're just playing goofy. Has the show been canceled yet? We've been on the air now for 35 minutes. I'm surprised I haven't pulled the plug yet. Happy Halloween, everybody. Be safe on your trick or treating. The downtown thing is really the way to go.
Yeah.
There'll still be daylight. They close the streets off, so you don't have to worry about darting between traffic. The whole WDA gets involved in it. They bought, I don't know how much candy, just gobs of candy. And since they close off the streets and they bring in fire trucks and all kinds of cool stuff for the kids to look at, it's still in the daylight because it's from 3 to 5.
Yeah, you had Linda Hagland
Yeah.
with the Wenatchee Downtown Association on with you yesterday morning, and she was talking about the costs of putting on this event. And certainly some of the costs are being borne by one of the sponsors, I think Dave Gallatley.
Dave and Sandy Gallatley, great
Dave
people.
and Sandy Gallatley.
So
they're very community-minded, and thank you very much for helping pay for some of the candy, as I understand that can get a little costly.
And you know, if you're not going downtown or any of the other organized Halloween trick-or-treating tonight, at least trick-or-treating in your own neighborhood is usually a good idea because you usually know the people and you know the houses you can go to and the houses that you shouldn't go to. If the porch light is off and they don't have a jack-o'-lantern in, just skip it. Don't bother ringing the doorbell because they're not participating, or they could very well be gone.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to Edgar Reinfeld when he was on my show. The number one day of Americans ordering pizzas to be delivered and consumed is Super Bowl Sunday. No big surprise there. But number 2 is Halloween. Halloween
right.
is the second busiest day for pizza deliveries in the United States. I thought that was fascinating.
Sounds like a good treat around the Hair House tonight.
It does.
maybe.
You all stocked up on candy?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of candy for the kids.
Good. Is there any particular candy that's hot this year? The kids like, is it always the traditions, the Snickers and the Three Musketeers
For
and
me,
all those? Yeah.
I think I like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Ah.
That's my all-time favorite.
Oh, here's another, thank you for bringing that up. Here's a tip, because this happened to me a few years ago. We got out the kind of the pumpkin. It's like a wicker basket, but it looks like a pumpkin, and we put our candy in that, right? Well, we got it out, and it still had some candy left over from the year before, and we put it up on the counter, and the dog knocked it over. And the dog ended up eating a couple of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and got sicker than a dog. Because first of all, chocolate is bad for animals, and second of all, it was probably about 5 years old. So the dog recovered, but remember that. And a lot of, I mean, you talked about how your dog ran off. A lot of dogs don't like Halloween.
No.
No, they don't like people constantly coming to the door and ringing the doorbell.
Didn't I see you and Jason in the Argonauts?
Yes, I was. I played the Argonauts. Who, by the way, the Argonauts play, I believe, the Maple Leafs this Sunday.
Is that right?
Canadian Football League, I'm not sure. The next up on the agenda, Steve, is I believe we do Today in History. You want me to help you out with that?
Yeah, would you please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll have you read it. Oh, that's right. You don't
Don't do that to me.
Okay, we have some significant events that occurred on this date in history. What is today? The 31st.
Today's the 31st day of October,
That's
Steve.
right. It was on this date in 1517, 500 years ago, that Dan was unearthed. Exhumed, if you will. No, I'm kidding. It was on this date that Protestant Reformation occurred. Martin Luther posts his 95 Theses on the door. That's theses on the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg.
I talked to, of course, on my show, I had Pastor Matt from the Trinity Church and Father Osmar from St. Joseph's Catholic Church from here in town. And they came in and they talked about the Protestant Reformation. And they had a big thing at Met Howell Park and Make a Different State, get the Protestants and the Catholics together to have a big wing dig. It was a lot of fun for them, kind of starting that whole process. This is a huge anniversary. It's the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation, which changed, essentially, Steve, changed history.
Yeah, it did.
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
The Protestant
Absolutely.
Church was born. They split away from the Catholics, and
you can imagine the trauma that Martin Luther went through.
yeah,
You know?
he went out on a limb,
He
no
really
doubt about
did.
that. But he said these are the problems that we have. Turns out there were 95 of them.
500 years ago, on this date in 1517, the Protestant Reformation. Also, it was on this date in 1864, 153 years ago, that Nevada, and I'll say Nevada, not Nevada, okay? Nevada is admitted as the 36th U.S. state, the Silver State, as it's known. The state flower, sagebrush.
There's a big surprise.
Very appropriate, very appropriate for Nevada.
My favorite thing about Nevada, Steve, because
What?
nobody lived there. I mean, Nevada had a population and nothing. And then they decided, well, what we'll do is they noticed that anybody who came to Nevada, like 85, 90% of the people who emigrated to Nevada to call it home, were from California. So they said, we'll take everything that is illegal in California and make it legal in Nevada.
Nevada.
So, whatever. So they had gambling was legalized and prostitution was legalized.
Except
And
in
it was easy,
Vegas.
yeah, and easy to get a divorce and easy to get married. They just used California as an example and did everything backwards. And it seems to have worked out okay if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an amazing success story. Because let's face it, if it wasn't for legalized gambling and the occasional silver mines, not a lot of people would be living in Nevada.
Not really,
So.
unless you're a high desert wheat grower.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Welcome to the Union, Nevada.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, moving on to our dates in history. 1923 was the date, October 31st, 94 years ago. The first of 160 consecutive days of 100-degree Fahrenheit weather at Marble Bar in Western Australia. 160
Can you
days
imagine that?
of century-plus weather. Gosh,
Every
that's
day from, what was it, today all the way through, it was like March or April of the following year, every day it got to at least 100 degrees for 160 days in
It's
a
like
row.
living in Death Valley.
It's like living in an oven. But it's the all-time record, Steve.
Wow.
160 consecutive days of at least 100 degrees. So
And we were complaining last year. What was it?
Exactly, yeah.
I think we had like, 10 days of 100 degrees.
we never hit
temperatures?
100 last year.
Well, I meant year before.
Yeah, year before we had, year before in 2016, it was a hot, dry summer.
1923 was an epic hot year, definitely.
So no complaining, people, when it gets warm. It could be
Yeah.
a lot worse.
Could be worse. That's right. Doesn't bother you though, does it? The hot weather.
No, I love it. I love it hot. I don't do cold very well.
It does cause some problems for the bones though.
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
it?
I mean, look at me. I mean, I gotta, I'm freezing here. I'm just all, I'm cold. I'm cold right down to the marrow. Oh my!
Oh, what a funny guy.
The plane crash of 1999, which is on your list, Steve.
Yeah, that was 18 years ago. Egypt Air Flight 990. Tell us about it.
Well, the pilot was fired, essentially. He was, I can't remember his name. He flew for Egypt Air. He had some problems with sexual harassment. They stayed at the Hotel Pennsylvania, Midtown Manhattan. This is where the Egypt Air pilots stayed when they were in New York. And he was their senior pilot. And finally, Hotel Pennsylvania people said, we can't handle this guy anymore. He's a rude, crude guy. And so the guy who actually ran his department was on this particular plane. He wasn't flying it, he was just on it. He was an Egypt Air executive. He told the pilot of the plane, said that this is your last flight. We can't come to New York anymore. We can't do this anymore. And from that point forward, there's been a bit of contention. Egypt Air says that there were some problems, mechanical problems, and the plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and that's why it crashed. Everybody else believes that the pilot flew the plane purposely into the Atlantic Ocean. He was the relief
I'd forgotten about
pilot.
that.
Yeah, he was the relief pilot. He wasn't supposed to be flying the plane until they were a ways in. It was a Los Angeles to Cairo flight with a stopover at JFK. And that's when he got on it. He was supposed to, after 3 or 4 hours, take over for the head pilot. Well, as soon as they got off to cruising altitude, he took over for the head pilot, like 3 hours early, and then basically, essentially flew the plane right into the ocean.
You're a pretty smart guy without brains.
Yeah, not bad. It's one of the strangest deals of all time. It really is. Excuse me, I got a little itch there.
Yeah,
There
I was
we
going to say.
Anyway,
how can you talk and not move your mouth? That's what I don't understand.
It's one of the many talents I have, Steve. It's an amazing thing. Happened on this date in 1999. It's still disputed, the cause of the air crash.
Egypt Air Flight 990 crash.
So.
And the Egyptians blamed mechanical problems
Yeah,
on
they
that,
did.
huh?
They did, but I think the cockpit voice recorder tells the story. So.
And now that concludes our Today in History.
Let's do some birthdays.
Feature for today. Let's do some birthdays today. And by the way, if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday, Dan.
And I need to get one out there right away. My stepson, Chase Twining, 21 years old.
Whoa.
Today.
Really?
He's 21, yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's a milestone for Chase. So, way to go, Chase! You made it to
Absolutely.
your adulthood.
And some other luminaries here that are having birthdays today. He's turning 87. Michael Collins, an American general, pilot, astronaut. He was in the command module for Apollo 11. While he stayed in orbit around the moon, there's Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin left in the lunar module to make the first manned landing on its surface.
Yeah.
Michael Collins is the guy that got left circling above.
Yep. He said he was the loneliest man in the world as he circled around in the module, going around and around the moon while Buzz and Neil walked around the moon. It's a pretty amazing story when you think about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, he said that they didn't train together. His job was to keep the lunar module, you know, the thing that got them there, orbiting the moon while Neil and Buzz did their thing. So during the whole training for Apollo 11, the big mission in July of '69, they almost never saw each other.
I'm glad to see you're still able to talk, even though your jaw is falling apart.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. He's starting to fall apart on us, folks.
Hey, you try and do a show, an
I
hour
was
show
gonna
with
say,
the
yeah.
skeleton sitting on your lap, Steve.
1936, he was born on this date, October 31st. Michael Landon.
Oh, Little Joe.
Little Joe, American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. Died in 1991 at the age of 54. He was Little Joe Cartwright. Little Joe.
We chased Lily Lecter, we finally struck Bonanza.
That's right.
With a gun and a rope and a hat full of hope, we planted our family tree.
Attaboy.
We got a hold of a pot full of gold, Bonanza. If anyone fights any one of us, he's got to fight with me.
He also
Austin
played
Joe
Charles.
and Adam Lowe.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry, no, I'm done.
Charles Ingalls. He played on House of the Prairie. Jonathan Smith in Highway to Heaven. Landon appeared on the cover of TV Guide 22 times, second only to Lucille Ball. Didn't he also play the teenage werewolf?
Yes, I was a teenage werewolf. That was
Yeah.
his breakthrough role,
That's
as a
right.
matter of fact.
remember
Yeah,
that.
22 times on the cover of TV Guide, second of all time.
Interesting.
That's impressive. How many times have we been on the cover of TV Guide? We should.
I don't think we ever were, are we?
No, I don't think we have.
No,
We could start. Let's start a grassroots effort to get the NCW Live channel on the cover of TV Guide.
I didn't even know they still made TV Guide.
Rupert Murdoch owns it, as a matter of fact.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, who reads TV Guide anymore?
I don't.
When you get it on your TV.
We miss Michael Landon. He was a great actor. Great screenwriter, too. He wrote
That's
a lot
right.
of Bonanza episodes, directed a lot of them, too.
By the way, let's also say happy birthday. He turned 75 today. David Ogden Stiers, American actor. You
Charles
know him
Emerson
from
Winchester.
MASH,
Yep.
The Dead Zone, as Reverend Gene Purdy.
He does a lot of voiceover work, too.
A lot of voiceover work.
Yeah, David Ogden Stiers will always be,
The
Major Charles
Boston
Emerson.
accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Major Charles Emerson Winchester on MASH.
And then finally, rounding out our birthdays for today, happy birthday to, well, football coach, 66-year-old Nick Saban, American football player and coach, LSU. Also Alabama head coach, 2009, 2011, 2012, and 2015. Nick Saban.
Most
Happy
people
birthday.
consider him probably, and I don't know. I'm a huge fan of college football. He may very well be the greatest college football coach of all time.
Might be.
I think he has a claim to it.
Might be.
He has a claim to it. He got his start with Don James at Kent State. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
When Nick Saban went to Kent State University, barely missed out on the Kent State massacre. They decided to have lunch instead, or who knows what would have happened to Nick. In any event, he played for Coach Don James, and he was married by the time he graduated from Kent State. He was married. His wife was also a student at Kent State. They're still married, by the way. She was a junior. He graduated as a senior. So they wanted to stay together. So he was going to sell cars for that summer, for that whole next year, while he was waiting for his wife to graduate. And he was already graduated. Because he was into cars. He was into hot rods. He already had a job at a car dealership, right? And so he told Don James, what are you going to do this summer while you're waiting for your wife to graduate? I said, I'm going to go sell cars for a living. He goes, no, why don't you coach? I'm going to make you a graduate assistant. You're not going to make a lot of money, but you might like it. And it's certainly better than selling used cars for a living. And Nick said, what the heck? And he found out he had a talent for it, and the rest is history. But it was Don James, legendary Husky coach Don James, who got Nick Saban into coaching instead of selling used cars. And it was all because Don James said, I think you might have an aptitude for coaching. So that's how we got to start. And now he's got 5 national
championships. What a font of
championships.
knowledge.
Yes, considering I have no brains today, as you can tell.
Yeah, and it looks like your lower mandible is also
You can't say
a
that
little
on
loose.
you can't say that on television, Steve. What time is it, Steve?
Right now it's 49 after the hour. In fact, we're going to give you a recap of our top news stories today.
Don't forget we
as
got
our
Magnotti's opinion too coming up.
Mike Magnotti's opinions next up as we take our break on this Halloween edition of the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley of the Dead.
Whoa.
I gotta tell you, I'm nervous. Selling your home, it's a big step.
Can we find the right buyer in this market?
Look at our website. When someone looks at your home, I can tell how ready they are to buy. See that number? The closer it is to 100, the closer they are to buying. So, I know who to zero in on.
So you have a secret weapon.
You mean we have a secret weapon?
I like that. Oh,
What do you think of the wallpaper? I love that touch.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir. Stop on by today.
The taste of fantastic pizza is found in third generation Pizza and More. The secret? The recipes of success have been handed down through generations, each adding their own special touch. Pizza and More believes in traditions, whether it's supporting the local sporting teams or continuing to serve their pizzas buffet style, dine in, takeout, or delivery. Third generation Pizza and More, a team player in this valley for generations.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I've been thinking about this decision some guys are making not to be alone with any woman because you're a good Christian and you don't want to fall into temptation. Well, I'm a Christian, and as far as a relationship and mental health counselor, I'm alone with other women all the time. I mean, I don't have too much trouble with it, though, because regardless of whether or not any of these women are in any way some temptation for me, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to resist any temptation they might have to make a play for my pal in white flesh. I mean, come on! What makes these guys think any woman is going to find them so irresistible? I don't know. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive two-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Hey everyone, Frank Ferrari here at Frank's Used Cars, where everybody gets a good deal. Today's deal is F-150 under 300,000 miles. Yesterday, $55.95. Today, it's only $213. At this price, this thing won't last long. Hurry on down to Frank Ferrari's Used Cars, where everybody gets a good deal. Right, Fred? Forget about Frank. Here at Town Nissan, we're fun, we're fair, and we're fabulous. Town Nissan, behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Oh, it feels so good to breathe again. Hi, everybody. I'm back. We took the little hoodie thing off that completely covered my entire body for two reasons. Number one, now I can see.
The Headless Norseman.
And now I can breathe, which are the two most important things. I forgot about the whole breathing thing. And I don't know about you, Steve, I'm into that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So now you can see exactly how we made this whole thing work. Again, we want to thank our friends at Columbia Valley Community Health who went out of their way to allow me to use this actual skeleton on the show here today. And Tucker Wagner, I'm coming after you, buddy. It was your idea. We've had a lot of fun today. Thanks for putting up with our nonsense. But there is some serious stuff to get to, Steve. You want to do a quick little recap on trick-or-treating tonight?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, tonight is the big night. It's Halloween on the Avenue in downtown Wenatchee. They'll be closing off the street there at about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and a lot of little shapes and costumes are going to be running around downtown getting their candy from, 36 merchants
Something like
that are participating in this event each year. In fact, on a recent program, we talked with Captain Edgar Reinfeld of the Wenatchee Police Department about the big show tonight.
3 to 5, the street will be closed. Wenatchee Avenue will be closed from Orondo to 2nd Street, and in those 3 blocks, we're going to have vehicles from Wenatchee Police, Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Chelan County PUD, City of Wenatchee, Waste Management, Chelan County Fire District 1, Ballard, and Lifeline. So we'll have an experience for kids to go see emergency and construction vehicles all up and down the street, in addition to the 32 businesses that are actively participating with Trick or Treat Time. It goes from 3 to 5. There are events that follow at Pybus, at the Convention Center. So it's an opportunity to get the kids out in daytime, see us, get stickers, get candy.
Completely safe.
Safe environment, free. Yeah. Streets are closed. Come down there and you can get your kids done in daytime and maybe not be chasing them around after dark. If your kids are going out after dark, though, please, please, please have some reflective element on their costume and a light of some sort if at all possible.
Flashlight is a great idea.
Yes.
And if you're in a neighborhood and the porch light is off, that means skip over to the next house.
Yep, that is the best practice. Some people just don't want to deal with it, or they're just not home.
Yeah, that could
be. You may be aggravating their animals or
Yeah.
confusing whatever else.
Except in Dan's case, he doesn't like to get distracted from the baseball game.
No, I'll be watching the World Series.
You'll be watching the series tonight,
Absolutely.
as most of us will be, but hey, I'll take a couple of minutes off each, because our house gets inundated with
Right.
kids.
Just
so-
tell the kids every half inning when there's a commercial break.
That's
they'll
right,
come
yeah,
out.
yeah. Anyway, this has been fun, Dan.
It's been fun. This is maybe the most physically uncomfortable show I have ever done. It's the first time I've ever had a skeleton actually sitting on my lap. Let's do the weather forecast, Steve.
I was going to say, which one is the dummy here?
You happy now? Let's do your weather forecast on the National Weather Service for trick-or-treating tonight. It's going to be clear, 40 for the overnight low, but this time of the year anyway, we have wild temperature changes, Steve. And I want to go all the way ahead to Monday. Look at the high Monday.
Yeah, I know.
38 degrees. The overnight lows will be below freezing. Good looking day today. Sunshine, a lot of it high of about 60. Clear tonight, 40 for the overnight low. Sunshine Wednesday. Last really nice day of sunshine and highs in the 50s for quite some time. A system comes in Wednesday night. By Thursday, we're going to get wet. Talking, measurable precipitation on Thursday, spilling into Thursday night, spilling into Friday. Thursday night into Friday is going to be the heaviest rain. While we're sleeping Thursday night into Friday is when the rain will come down at its most intense. And then we start talking about a slight chance of snow. Now, don't be jumping all over the place. A slight chance of snow Saturday night into Sunday with obviously the associated clouds and highs in the 40s. Did you drop your microphone pack, Steve?
No, my shoe.
Your shoe just
my
fell off?
shoe just fell off.
You never know what's going to happen with live TV. Upper elevations, certainly the Cascades are going to get some snow, Steve. There's no question about that. And the National Weather Service, I did take a look at the forecast for Omak, Okanagan, Brewster, Orville, that area up there, Republic. They are probably going to get snow coming down and sticking to the ground, especially Saturday night into Sunday. Heads up on that.
By the way, I just got word Dan has just been selected as the new spokesman for Jenny Craig.
When you live my kind of lifestyle, eventually you'll end up looking like this guy. Steve, thanks for putting up with this for the hour. We weren't planning on Steve coming with me for the whole hour, but as soon as I put on this outfit and I realized I can't see, we had to make...
Pressed into service.
Pressed into service. I appreciate it, Steve. I really do. Don't forget the news with Grant Olson. He's back at 5 o'clock tonight here on the NCW Live Channel. Everybody have a great Halloween. Play it safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dem bones, dem bones, dem dry.